Don't miss, do. Performance when anxious sufferers specifically were least desired was performed to test Wagner's theory of ironic processes. It utilized hockey penalty shooters and dart throwers. Wagner's theory of ironic processes proposes that anxiety impairs efficient functioning of processing thoughts, which leads to focusing on thoughts detrimental to performance. One does what we intend to do, and we don't do what we don't intend to do. This is called the operating process. Under mental load, operating process competes with anxiety to function. The operating process is less effective as the desired outcome is introduced into our awareness. This is called the ironic process because as one may now do what one intends not to do, such as miss the penalty shot or throw the dart where one does not intend to throw it.
2 studies were done to test Wagner's theories. In the first study, it involved 40 male university hockey players. They measured the anxiety using the mental readiness form by Cran in 1994. They had a hockey net and a rope was hung just 45 centimeters from the right post, and that was called the target zone. If the target zone was missed, but they still hit the net, they scored in the non-ironic zone. If they missed the net completely, they hit the ironic zone. The participants would receive 1 point for hitting the target zone, 0 points if they hit the non-ironic target zone, and they received -1 points for hitting the ironic zone. Participants were told about the scoring procedure, and they were told to try to hit the target zone, but be particularly careful not to hit the ball right at the right-hand posts, as they will receive -1 points. They were given a warm-up of 5 minutes, or 5 minutes of jogging, and 15 practice shots. Each participant took 30 shots in high anxiety conditions and 30 shots in low anxiety conditions. The participants were offered $155 for the person who scored the most points. Participants' cognitive anxiety was higher in the high anxiety conditions. Their somatic anxiety was also higher in the high anxiety conditions. They had lower self-confidence in the higher anxiety conditions. Anxious players hit more shots in the ironic zone than the target zone. There's no significant non-ironic performance differences between high and low anxiety conditions.
In the second study, they attempted to replicate the first study. However, instead of using hockey players, they used dart throwers. They also added a social evaluation as a stressor. They monitored the subject's physiological arousal, and they varied the ironic zone across participants and measured non-ironic zones in 3 spots. They used 73 individuals, 45 men and 28 women. They were not dart players or had played darts less than 10 times. They measured their heart rate for physiological arousal and used MR3 again to measure their anxiety. They set up quadrants on the dartboard that would be used as the ironic air zone. They would not get any points if they hit the air zone. The other 3 quadrants were the non-ironic air zone, and they lost points the further out from the middle of the dartboard they got. The participants got 15 warm-up throws and then did 24 throws on low anxiety, got a 2-minute break, and then 24 throws on high anxiety. For the high anxiety test, the participants were told that they would advertise the scores of everyone for 1 week at a busy part of the university so that everyone could see. Cognitive and somatic anxiety were significantly higher during the high anxiety situations. In high anxiety, the subjects performed more ironically, hitting further into the ironic air zone than in low anxiety. And they figure, however, the ironic air may disappear as the subject gets more used to the task. In conclusion, both studies showed that in high anxiety, when the subjects were told to not do something, such as not hit the post or not throw into the ironic air zone, they did it more often than not, showing that when they were told not to do something, they would do it more often.